What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is meribahMUA, and today we are going to talk about brushes. This is just going to be a general video about brushes to start with, types of brushes that you need to begin for full face, full eyeshadow, etc. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also like and comment down below if you like this video. You're gonna also subscribe to me on social media at meribahMUA on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. So let's get started. So the first brushes that I want to talk about is face brushes, and I think it's pretty easy. You can kind of go to the store and navigate a lot of different brands that carry like your starter pack for face brushes. A rule of thumb is, you kind of just want a bronzer brush, a blush brush, and a all over face brush for your all over face powder. And then if you want to get even more technical into contouring, then you definitely want to have a brush that you distinctively use for your contouring products. So with that being said, for all over face brush, I do like a larger foundation brush like this. This is great for powders like the Makeup Forever powder. So something like this is great for all over face powders like this, where you can just go into the pan and then apply it all over your face. That's great for time saving, and it's just a quick way to apply foundation. If you like to apply your foundation all over your face with a brush, you want to use a short, dense brush like this one. This is a Spectrum brush, and this brush is tightly packed. So this is going to give you, easier application for foundation. I really like using these brushes with stick foundation. For applying my foundation, I pretty much stick to using a beauty blender. You can also apply liquid foundation with a flat spatula brush like this and just kind of brush everything on. The problem with using this for foundation as well as like a dense brush like this one is you're going to have like the brush streaks or texture on your skin. So I would still go back in with something all over to buff that out. I think that's why a lot of makeup artists now in 2017 like using the beauty blender, because it gives the most skin-like texture. However, if you feel comfortable with these starting out with, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's had to start somewhere and then get to a point of stuff that they felt comfortable with. So it's more or less just trial and error. So if you find something that comes in a pack like this, maybe that's what you want to start with. Maybe the foundation that you use is a stick foundation, so it's easier for you to buff it out with these. There's nothing wrong with that. So getting into more of like the powders, when you're applying all over powder, you can also use like a smaller brush like this. Again, this is Spectrum, and this is just like for buffing everything out all over. You can also use this under the eye to swipe away any loose powders, or some girls may even use this for blush and bronzer all over. There's really like no right or wrong, but I would definitely say something larger is going to be for all over application of powders. Then when you get into your smaller defined brush, that's when you're hitting into more like sharper areas, like along the cheekbones or the temples here, or even hitting at the corners up here. This brush does kind of have like a pointed shape, so you could essentially use this under the eye as well. Then for contouring, I personally think that these slanted brushes are great because you can just kind of find the shape and go up and out, and it just kind of follows this like really nice shape with the brush as far as where you're putting on the contour, and this would be with powder. Getting into more of a quicker all over face brush. I do think these fan brushes are great for contouring as well. If you just want something really quick, just around to shape out your face and create some dimension. Also, these are great with bronzers. You can just go right over the cheek and again around the face. These are going to be denser, and I just think these are really great. These are probably one of my favorite brushes, actually. I use these for contouring and blush, and I just found that I'm really comfortable with this. Next, for highlights, you are going to see some different highlighting brushes on the market right now. So you're generally going to see these like really skinny fan brushes. And these are great, you know, for putting the highlight here and generally like along this area. You're not really going to go too much elsewhere, maybe on the lips if you want to highlight the top of your lip. But then you can also get a thicker fan brush like this one. This I bought at Target. This is the Sonia Kashuk brush, and I really liked this one for a while for highlighting. Just because it was thicker, so you really want to build up that intense highlight quickly. Something thicker like this is going to be quicker than this one that is thinner. And then, you know, next you'll just see different sizes of brushes that we already talked about. So this is like the smaller brush in comparison to this one. This I would use like for under eye. And then again, we have a thicker angled brush. You know, you can go in for blush and contour, and then you have more of a dense brush here. You could probably get away with using this for foundation as well, but I generally keep this for blush and just use this to pounce the blush on my face. Then if you know, really get into more technical ways of applying makeup, you will find that there are brushes for stippling. And basically, in my personal experience of doing makeup, stippling will just add on the product more in a textured pattern that I believe can kind of be built into your skin texture better than, you know, just sweeping something like a liquid straight on. So I generally use my stippling brushes for makeup. Also, stippling brushes are used in special effects makeup when you're trying to create a texture in latex. So these are great if you are wanting to use your own latex for Halloween and you need to create something that's textured, like for a zombie makeup. Stippling brushes are going to be a friend, and they do come in different sizes. These are e.l.f. stippling brushes. These are like $2, so I think that these are great because if you do destroy it using special effects, it's not a big deal. They're easily replaced. So stippling brushes by e.l.f. Cosmetics, those are awesome. And then you can go even further into these more dense brushes. These can pack on a lot of product in one place. So let's say if you were again doing something like a fantasy makeup like mermaid or fairy, and you wanted to pack on like pinks and purples here, this is going to be really great if you dip this into your eyeshadow to then pack on that color and then blend it out accordingly with a different brush, like something like this. So these thicker brushes are going to pack in more color, and that is kind of like the rule of thumb with brushes that I have realized is the thicker the brush, the more it's going to be packing on color, whereas the more fluffy brush is going to be for blending out colors. So that's kind of something to, you know, think about when you're buying brushes. You want to have some brushes that are thicker to pack color. You want to have some brushes that are fluffier and more like soft to blend out color. So I think we're just gonna go, you know, straight away into eyeshadow brushes. I can't talk about every single eyeshadow brush. There's just so many different eyeshadow brushes, but it's definitely kind of similar to what we talked about as far as like your face brushes. So you're gonna have the thicker, denser brushes, and those are gonna be used to pack on color. Like this one is thick and short, so you could use this to really pack everything in. And then you're gonna have these really fluffy brushes, and these are going to blend out. Brushes are really like trial and error, hit and miss. You find what you like, you find what you don't like. There's gonna be some brushes that work for somebody and they don't work for you. So that's why starting out with brushes, I would recommend buying cheaper brushes like e.l.f. or Morphe brushes, or even Wet n Wild, because they do make affordable brushes until you figure out really what your niche is with your style of how you apply your makeup and how you like applying your foundation, how you like applying your foundation. I already said that. How you like applying your foundation and how you like applying your eyeshadow. Because once you have that style down and routine and you're comfortable and confident with makeup application, then you can go in and invest in more expensive high-end brushes like Spectrum brushes or Makeup Forever brushes, Nars brushes, etc. All really great brush brands, but if you don't know how to use them correctly, you may feel that you're not getting your money's worth. So with eyeshadow as well, you're gonna have different fluffy brushes that you can use for makeup application. Same thing, they come in different sizes. Like this one, I would really like to use this in the crease. This I would use all over the eye and the crease. So you can kind of see like the tighter brushes, again, you're gonna use more in your crease, and then the looser, bigger, fluffy brushes, those ones you're gonna use to buff out your eyeshadow. Something that's a lot larger like this, you can see this brush is very large for my eye. I'm gonna use this for all over, and this would be for like setting my eye primer with translucent powder or like an ivory or white shade, just all over the lid really quick, no fuss there. And then, you know, getting into like these tighter flat brushes like these are going to be used for concealer application, or you can use these for like cutting the crease in your eyes for, you know, really dramatic eye looks like I did today. So again, any flat brush like this will be used for concealer under the eye or getting a very defined eye look. For definition in your, in your eye, you're gonna want to use a very small pointed eye brush or one that has a thicker, and you can go in the corner with these, and you can also really get definition in the eye on here, to like create a line. Or you can even, if you have one smaller or that's on an angle, you can use these for like liquid eyeliner or a lip liner. So like a liquid eyeliner or eyebrow brush would be something that's small and slanted like this. And then we also have these. You can see this one is just a little bit bigger, and then this one has just like the square. And these I would use for eyeliner underneath my eye or applying lip liner if you really are trying to get something really defined. When you're, freelancing too, these are good for working on clients. If you want to go over your lipstick with that and then apply it on the client, so that way you're not like directly putting your lip product on them for sanitary purposes. However, you can always directly apply and then sanitize with alcohol, an alcohol wipe after. It's totally okay too if that's how you choose to do your makeup. So again, these flat brushes are great for also applying like eyelash glue. I mean, again, the possibilities are endless. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea. So if I forget something, feel free to comment down below and be like, hey girl, you forgot about this, so that way other viewers can see that. And then I think the smallest you're gonna get is like these very finely defined pointed brush. And again, this would be for eyeliner or lip, or you can go even in your eye, whatever you wanna do. That's up to you. There are no rules to makeup. Don't let anybody tell you how you can and cannot do your makeup. This is all just recommendations, things that I am comfortable with, things that I learned in school, and things that work for me over the years. So again, if you use a eye brush as your contour brush. There's nothing wrong with that. It is just your preference. Makeup is all preference, and it is totally up to you how you want to apply anything. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about brushes a little bit. I feel like I've talked about cleaning your brushes, so it's just something that I wanted to briefly go over for those of you who are starting out buying makeup. And again, for cheaper brushes, there's what are those called? Oh, the Real Technique brushes. Although I still feel like those are kind of getting high end now that they're like popular. They were really cheap for a while. I remember seeing them in like the $5 range, and then they got a lot of buzz, so I think they kind of like upped their prices to like $10, $11 a brush, which in my opinion is too much if you're freelancing or if you're starting out in makeup. You can just get way more like Morphe brushes for less. The only problem with Morphe is they are, unanimous for having hairs fall out. I personally have not had too many brushes shed on me, but a lot of people complain about that. So if you don't like that, then maybe stay away from Morphe brushes. There's also like Crown Brush, Real Techniques, e.l.f., Wet n Wild, Morphe brush. And then when you go into high end, there's like Spectrum brushes, which are cruelty free. So if you want something cruelty free, Spectrum brushes are amazing. You can buy them individually now, but I did buy the set because it is, just more affordable that way versus buying like one and one over time. Oh, and then also for affordable is, I can't believe I forgot, is BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics is like stepping up their game, you guys. I bought some of their Rose Gold collection brushes, and my friend gave me an extra pack of her like marbly coral brushes, and they're so soft, they're affordable, and a lot of times they have sales running. So BH Cosmetics I would definitely test out for lower end. And then higher end, Spectrum brushes, Makeup Forever, Nars, MAC Cosmetics. I mean, they've been around forever. There's a reason why, because makeup artists continuously use MAC cosmetic brushes. If you want to invest in like a really good powder brush or a really good concealer brush, definitely like put your money towards that one. And then things that you're like less picky about, like maybe your eyeshadow brushes, go for the lower end. I think that's a good way to kind of build up. It's something that I'm proud of. A lot of people are like, oh my god, you have so many brushes, and I'm like, well, I do my makeup all the time. I do a lot of different looks, so I need to constantly have clean brushes. And also if and when you are wanting to go work on a client or do something on somebody else, you want to make sure you have clean brushes. So having more brushes allows me to have more clean brushes. And that is pretty much all I have to say. I hope I didn't talk your ear off too much today and that this video wasn't too boring. I really appreciate all my subscribers. You guys are such a great support. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and comment down below and subscribe to my channel. If you want to receive notifications for whatever reason, if you think I'm that awesome, you can click the bell and YouTube will notify you whenever I post a new video. Also, you can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook under meribahMUA. It's all the same, meribahMUA, one word. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial, and not really a tutorial, but that's it for this video. If you want to see this eye tutorial, hopefully I'll have it posted before this and I can tag it somewhere at the end here. All right, you guys. Thank you. I love you. Bye.